Hi, Michelle here from Straw-Bearie.com. I'm a teacher, I'm a crafter, and I'm a DIYer, and today we're going to Harbor Freight's for our craft supplies, and I'm making this fun, cute Christmas bunting with Harbor Freight. We're going to make some cute Christmas bunting using Harbor Freight drop cloth. What I did is I took my drop cloth and I put it in a bucket of dye. This was aqua dye. I was actually using it for something else, and when I pulled the something else out, I didn't want to waste all the dye that was still in my bucket, so I threw in some drop cloths, and this is what came out. And I actually love it. It's got a feel of like a linen type fabric. It's got kind of a mottled look on the dyeing. It's not completely solid dye, but I kind of like that kind of earthy, natural type of look on this. And what we're going to do now is I'm going to start cutting my drop cloth. I want my finished drop cloth to be 7 inches. So just to be sure, I'm going to cut mine at 8 inches. Then I rip. Quickest and easiest way to cut your fabric, especially if you don't mind, and I actually kind of like the very natural raw edge. Now, this edge has a selvage, so I'm actually going to trim that off first. And now I want each piece to be 5 inches wide. So I'm going to take my ruler and, you know what, let's do 5 1/2. I'm going to cut a slit at 5 1/2. Going to move my ruler, and I'm going to do this 5 times because I want 5 pieces. Now I'm going to take each of those pieces and rip. I have my pieces ready to go. And you know, if you wanted to make this more refined looking, you could definitely cut this with scissors so that you don't have the ragged edges, or you could even sew the edges. But I kind of like this look. And I also thought if you wanted a more natural look, you could do this without dyeing your fabric, or you could dye part of your fabric and then leave part of your fabric natural and do like 1/2 and 1/2. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to protect my surface, and I'm going to take one of my pieces, and I have some red fabric paint, and I have a Harbor Freight paintbrush, and I'm going to get some paint on my brush, and I'm just going to freehand this. So I'm planning on not having that top part, so I want to kind of have it a little bit more towards the bottom, and I'm going to paint the word Merry because this is a Christmas banner. Now, to keep this nice and even, I'm going to determine where the center is, put a little dot, and no stencil required. So I'm going to move that to the side to dry, and I'm going to do the rest of my letters. Now I'm going to go rinse my brush out while I let this dry. While I'm waiting for my paint to dry, I'm going to take a piece of fabric. So this was what I had left over on that piece that I'd cut out. That was, 8 inches wide. And I'm going to use it this way now. And I'm just going to go about every inch or 3/4 of an inch. I'm not measuring. Just every so often. I'm going to make a slit. And then I'm going to and now I have a bunch of little strips. I found some ribbons. I bought these at after Christmas sales in previous years. So this one is a pretty snowflake, and I'm going to take and cut it. So let's see how many I can get out of this. Let me compare that to the length of one of these. Okay, I think that's gonna work. I'm gonna cut it in half, cut this piece in quarters. So the way that I'm measuring my ribbon is how much ribbon I have and how can I best use every inch of it. So let's cut that and cut it down here. Now I have 4 pieces of that one. Now I know I want them to be close to the same length as my aqua pieces. That's actually my goal. And then I'm just gonna cut a whole bunch more that are the same length. Now, what I can do is I can just take it and hold it in my hands and just keep turning it, and then just cut the bottoms and cut the top loops, and I would have lots of little pieces. And that is what I wanted. Red and white rope. I think this is going to be perfect. And then you're just going to take a hot glue gun, and you want to just do a little bead of glue along there and flip that over. Now I'm actually not gluing the rope, I'm just making a loop around the rope, so later on I can reuse this rope for something else. Now we have this cool little bunting, and I want it just a little bit more. So, remember those strips of fabric and ribbon? I'm going to take one of the piles, take it, I'm going to make a loop from the middle, and I'm going to stick all the ends through, like that. And I'm going to continue doing that with each of my little piles of fabric that I made. And now my banner is ready for me to hang up and enjoy. Look how fun and festive it looks. A little rustic, a little festive. I think it's great. And thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. My first thought when I saw the drop cloths was to make like a floor covering or to make pillows. But everybody does that, and I thought I wanted to do something just a little bit different, so that's why I made this bunting. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Hey, share it with one of your friends. That really helps me out a lot, and I appreciate it so much. Toodles!